don't see it. Oh yeah. Welcome to the channel, guys. I am down in the woods. This is my skid steer. This is a Komatsu CK30. There aren't many of them. They only made a few. They weren't that great of a machine, but this is what I got for a skid steer. We got the root rake or root grapple, whatever you want to call it, on here. And so we are down on one of the lower ends of my property, and basically there's just a lot of tore up leftovers from logging, and there's a lot of roots in the ground, brush piles everywhere, old rotten logs, and we're going to work on getting some of this out of here. So I've lived on this property just over a year, almost a year and a half, and we have still not found all the corners of the property. So what I'm working on, I'm building trails to come down the hill, and I'm also trying to establish the property lines. I got great neighbors. They're doing the same thing. We all bought these places off of a big subdivide. A guy bought out the old farm, and we all bought acreage. So we've all got pretty big pieces of property, and they're pretty unruly to come down here. So it's you know, this is pretty open over here, but let's walk over here, and you just got brush with alders and vine maples, and you know, it's not, this needs to be either completely cleared or it needs to be thinned and replanted. So we're all kind of in the same goal of, we want to clear this stuff out, thin it appropriately, or strip it down and completely replant it. So it's good ground, it's good land. It's there's pretty good hills and pretty good terraces. I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes here. Hill I'm working my way down right now, it is at the absolute limit of this machine as far as how steep the hill is to go up and down it. And so I'm making a little cut. We're going to try and fix that to where I can safely get up and down it. What I'd like to be able to do is I can go up it on my quad, but it's about as steep as I want to go up. I'd like to ramp it down in there a little bit so my wife and kids can go up and down it, and we can get the tractor down there. No way right now I'm taking the Coyote tractor down the hill, but this will do it. But you hit one branch or one root and you slip a little bit and you're right on the edge of rolling over, or you're just not going up the hill anymore. So we're going to go down there, work on it. All right, so one thing to mention, the weather just finally broke here, and so I've not been coming down the hill out of the interest of not tearing up my existing trails. And when it's just wet out, there's just really no good reason to be down here. I come down with the quads, we do that kind of stuff, but we're finally dried out enough that I can bring this machine out here and do some work. This is the first time I've put a camera on this machine, so bear with me. I'm going to try and find some angles, but until I get this footage back and edit some videos, I don't really know where you guys ought to be. Still recording? Oh, there you are. All right, that's much better. So nothing fancy. I don't even have a bucket on. We're just using the rear rake, but coming down through here, just kind of blended that right out. There's a little bit more there I'll take off, but as this dries out better, I can now get the tractor down here. My goal was to widen this out a little bit, but you guys were sitting right there on the berm, so I didn't want to run you guys over. But I'm just gonna feather this out a little bit both ways. We're about 8 foot wide right now. If I got a 12-foot log, I want to be able to come up the hill with the tractor or the skid steer, so this is much better. I'm just gonna keep shaping this down, and then at some point I'll blend the sides out a little bit. Being careful not to screw up the roots on that great big old tree, and keep him around. Well, that's not good. We're stuck. Well, we're not stuck. I just can't get up this hump. All right, well, I didn't make it far. That's what I just came down. And came down that, and I came down here. I was looking at my GPS on my phone, watching the property line. And the problem is, there's like clay, slickery clay right under the tracks. There's a little stump there, and I'm up against that tree. I don't know if you guys can tell, there's a little shelf right here, and I was going through blackberries and I just kind of slipped off of it. The goal is to get another 1,000 feet down that way, and this whole property's kind of got some terraces. This is fairly, it's not level, but this is fairly flat, and then we go up that steep hill, and then there's a flat, and we go up a steep hill. So I tried coming around right here, but inside these blackberries is a big old growth stump there, and I think if I go much farther out that way, I'm dropping off into the abyss. So recalculating, find me a path out of here and make a plan, because I'm about a 20-minute walk to get back up the hill. If I did want to go get the excavator, and I don't really want to go get the excavator to pull myself out, I could drive the Jeep down here. Maybe I could winch it up the hill. I mean, we're not stuck. We just can't, I just can't back up that slippery slope. Turn you guys around here. Dang it, guys, I lost the footage. I did get out of there. I can attest that was probably 15 minutes of flailing. I did get bumped up out of that hole, and I made it out, and I have spent hours looking for that footage, and I promise I'll be more careful to not lose footage. But I did get out of the hole, and I got back out there and got some trails cleaned up, and back up the hill I made it. And I also almost ran out of fuel, but we got it up the hill. I kind of forgot what I was doing and spent about 8 hours down there, and so I made it out. Sorry, lost the footage, but I was able to claw my way back up the hill and get out of there. So back to the film. All right, so I'm just running up and down some of these trails. What I'm doing, I've got all these teeth. I'm just barely skimming them along, trying to get these roots out. So I got all these blackberries and brush. So I'm gonna try and move you guys down here and see if you can see what's going on a little bit better. All right, guys, we made it back up the hill. Gonna wrap it up right there. Lots more to come on this. We're gonna be running down in the woods all weekend. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.